When it comes to anime, there are a few criteria that I definitely will frown upon. When something sucks, I'll come out and tell you it sucks. I'm like that person that tells you, no, don't eat that pizza, that's bad pizza. This is good pizza. It may cost you a couple bucks more, but this is good pizza. That's garbage pizza. Don't eat that. That's bad for you. This is the good stuff. That's the type of person that I am. And when it comes to an anime series that I like, and one that kind of grew on me, I was looking forward to the next adventure of this. Now, yes, I am going a bit out of order since I haven't talked about the two previous series before it. However, I don't really have to talk about those because this is a standalone series that may or may not be considered canon, depending upon who you talk to, or unless Toriyama decides to screw the whole thing again. Yes, today I'm talking about Dragon Ball GT. I know. Hear me out. I want to yank this bandage off. Okay? It's worth it. Trust me. It's not worth watching it. It's worth watching this video of me ripping it a new one so that you don't have to. I'm watching the crap to prevent you from watching the crap. You're welcome, by the way. So today, let's dive into the filth-spewing, crap-monging shithole that is Dragon Ball GT. Today on the anime G.B.U. So following the massive success that was Dragon Ball, of course, we were going to get a sequel, hinted upon, by the way, in the actual conclusion to the Dragon Ball series, and that was Dragon Ball Z. For many of us here in America, that was our first foray into the Dragon Ball era, and into the Dragon Ball series in general. However, it wasn't going to be the end. Eventually, Dragon Ball would come over and we would finally get to see the beginning origins of our favorite characters, of some of them, of course, since the Saiyans didn't technically exist yet because they weren't really there, but yeah, we'll get into that later. Yeah, stupid hair. Anyway, what gets more annoying than Dragon Ball in a way that we got it after we saw the sequel? How about a series that didn't even follow the plot points of the series that it was the successor to? A series that wasn't even created by the creator of the previous ones, but yet used characters from them. I present to you Dragon Ball GT, or as I'd like to personally call it, my waking nightmare. So let's dive into it. First off, I'd like to state the following. The series starts off at least a good 60 episodes in. Like 59, 52, 62 episodes in. Either way, we're in the double digits to begin with. Why, you ask? How the fuck should I know? I honestly have never been able to figure that out, and I've heard mixed reports as to why. I don't understand why we couldn't just get the actual start of the series, which we got later on, but I'll get into that. So let me give you the plot points and the plot synopsis for Dragon Ball GT. Here it is in a nutshell. Goku is turned back into a child because Emperor Pilaf, Mai, and Shu decide to raid Kami's lookout. How in the hell they knew where Kami's lookout was is beyond me. How in the hell they're still thinking about world domination is beyond me. How in the hell, when the series got retconned later on, their asses were still considered old? Well, that one's not beyond me. Toriyama had nothing to do with GT, so that answers that question right off the bat. But anyway, all hail the crap. Here we go. Pilaf, Mai, and Shu are after the Dark Star Dragon Balls, a set of Dragon Balls apparently created by pure evil energy. Whereas Kami created the Dragon Balls of Earth via good energy, these Dragon Balls were created by evil energy. What do? They grant you one wish. Then instead of scattering amongst the Earth like the actual Dragon Balls do, they scatter across the universe. They are not bound by any laws or creational limitations by their creator and can technically wish anything. You want to wish somebody dead? The Dark Star Dragon Balls can do that. You want to bring somebody back to life that died of a natural cause? Dark Star Dragon Balls are your cure. You want to get all powerful quickly and don't want to train? Check out the Dark Star Dragon Balls. No, seriously, that's literally pretty much all they do. There's no limitations to what they can wish, what they can grant. And they played a major role in this for 2 arcs. It's gonna suck, trust me. I just don't know any other way to put it. So Goku now turned back into his childlike form, goes back home, and of course Chi-Chi starts having a royal cow. Now what was Goku doing up on the lookout anyway? He was training Oob, the kid that he took at the end of Dragon Ball Z. Well, at least they managed to get that part right. 60 episodes in. Anyway, our very first episode is a grand problem, where Pan is pretty much retelling the story of how they got into their current situation, like we give a rat's ass. Just give us those episodes and we'll call it a day. Basically, the Dark Star Dragon Balls, as I said, turned Goku back into a kid because Pilaf said, I wish you were a kid again, then I could really show you something. And then I could really beat you down or really show you what's what. And Shenron, Red Shenron by the way, was listening and figured, oh, that's your wish? Okay, I'll turn his ass back into a kid. Boom, done. Yay. Gets worse, trust me. Unless the Dragon Balls, the Dark Star Dragon Balls, are returned to Earth within 1 year, Earth goes... Yep, let me repeat that. The Dark Star Dragon Balls, once used, have to be returned to the point where they were used, at least onto the planet's surface, at any point on the planet's surface, within 1 year. Otherwise, goes the Earth. Can't use the other Dragon Balls to prevent this, because these Dragon Balls are considered the all-powerful MacGuffin Dragon Balls. They're the steroid-induced Dragon Balls. You think your dragon's tougher than my dragon? Oh, hell no. My dragon can eat your dragon for dinner! Yeah. So Goku, Trunks, and Goten are getting ready to head off into space to retrieve the Dark Star Dragon Balls. Only Gohan's daughter, Pan, decides, I'm gonna hitch along for the ride, and sets off the machine early. So they left Goten behind, who confused with Trunks, to bring us Pan, who sucks. Okay. Basically, they go around collecting the Dragon Balls throughout the universe. And then are stopped on a planet. Now, they got to this planet because the Dragon Radar decided to get eaten by a small robot named G.B.U. G.B.U. decides to eat the Dragon Radar, integrating it into his body, and takes them back to his planet. That's basically nothing but robots. The robots want to kill them. Because the robots are part of an organization that apparently is either hired by Baby or agreed to do his bidding. I haven't been able to figure out which. Or, then again, they probably said it, I just didn't care. Who's Baby, you ask? I'm glad you asked. He's the last remaining truffle. What's a truffle? Well, it's very, apparently tasty, high-esque echelon food that pigs can sniff out with their snouts, and it grows usually over in France, and it's worth a crap ton of money if you sell it at a restaurant. Oh, you mean these guys? Oh, my apologies. I thought we were talking about food for a moment, something that's a little more entertaining than this. Well, the truffles were the race of people that either, depending upon which retconned lore you want to talk about, or which lore you want to believe, were the group of people that the Saiyans were trying to take over, and eventually did take over, or eventually wanted to take over. You know what? I got confused. I don't care. Basically, they hate the Saiyans. Yeah, it depends upon which version of Dragon Ball you actually want to look at. the one version, King Kai does explain that the Truffles and the Saiyans were apparently the same race, but they split off. Another one says that they were basically a group of people that came to Planet Vegeta, and the Saiyans made a deal with them for technology, or stole their technology. Honestly, I don't understand it. So what happens? Oh yeah, that's right. Baby's trying to take over and defeat the Saiyans because he's pissed off at them. And how does he do that? Well, he has Dr. Mew, MYU, I know, try to basically, well, what's a good word for saying screw the pooch? Screw the pooch. He's basically trying to revive Baby and does so in a very haphazardly, half-assed, and stupid as hell way. Now, what does this matter for the story? Very little, actually. Baby comes back to life, and everybody thinks they defeated him, well, Goku, Pan, and Trunks. Unfortunately, they find out that he's not actually dead. Yay! He's not dead. Damn it! Follow through, guys! Follow through! Baby returns to Earth and begins inhabiting the entire planet, basically by cutting them and liquefying himself, doing pretty much what I think the T-1000 should have just freaking did in the second Terminator movie to basically kill everybody. Hey, I got an idea. Let me cut you open, turn myself into liquid metal, go in through your cut, try to take control of your body that way, and then kill you. Okay. Goten's the first one to encounter Baby, ends up getting possessed, taking on Gohan. Gohan's the second one to end up getting possessed by Baby, and eventually destroys, or believes he destroyed, both Goten and Piccolo. Gohan then begins to take on Vegeta, who realizes there's something wrong, beats the crap out of him, but gets cut up in the process, and Baby decides, hey, I'm going to take advantage of this situation, and hitches a ride in Vegeta's body, becoming Baby Vegeta. Keep in mind, this is all just the first arc. Basically put, Goku, Pan, and Trunks return to Earth with the Dark Star Dragon Balls. Everyone's possessed by Baby. Baby defeats them. Goku gets sent into Limbo, where the Supreme Kai attempts to bring him out. He does so in the end, and him and Elder Kai decide it's time for Goku to have his tail back and begin a training regimen to do that. Stupidest training regimen in the world. Freaking coffee maker. Eventually they just pull the tail out of him and send Goku back to Earth. Or in this case, New Planet Truffle. Because, or Planet Plant I think it was called. Was it Planet Plant? Yo, I don't care! It sucked! Baby used the Dark Star Dragon Balls to create a new homeworld for himself. And in the process doom the Earth. Because basically a year has passed. Time takes a back seat in the Dragon Ball universe, I know, but you mean to tell me an entire year passed in the span of a few episodes when it took almost 100-some episodes, or 20-some episodes for 5 fucking minutes to pass in Dragon Ball Z, yet an entire year passes in like 3 or 4 episodes. They get 3 years passing, you know, timeline can kiss my ass. Screw physics, damn it! This is science! Science can take a back seat as far as I'm concerned. So anyway, this series gets worse and worse as it goes on. Goku returns, basically takes on Baby, gets his ass kicked, sees the moon, and turns into a great golden ape. Then, because Pan cries because Grandpa Goku has gone crazy and he's wrecking everything and she's so worried he won't be able to come back to his senses, he ends up being able to transform into Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Which I hate more than anything in the world because of just how stupid it looks. Red fur and black hair as a Super Saiyan. Okay, then. So, Goku defeats Baby. Yay! Earth blows up. Boo! Piccolo dies. Damn! The Earth gets revived. Yay! Super 17 comes. Huh? Yeah, it turns out Dr. Gero and Dr. Mew have been stuck in the Home for Infinite Losers, or as we would like to call it, Hell. Then again, hell would be them having to watch this series like I had to watch this series. That's right, I watched this series. It sucks. Super 17 comes back because the Android 17 in the current timeline and the Android 17 built in Hell fused together. Sense to me? What do I get? Makes sense to me! This thing sucks. Basically, everybody tries to stop it. However, it can absorb energy attacks, so all their Keyblade powers are useless. Goku arrives after getting his ass almost beat by Frieza and Cell in Hell, because they just wanted a piece of his ass again. Piccolo, who decided he wanted to go to Hell to rescue Goku and decided to trash Heaven in the process, helps Goku escape by combining his energy and Dende's energy to create a portal like the two androids did, which apparently makes no sense since you need to use life energy, but fuck it, I don't care! I don't care! This series sucks! They take their powers, combine them together, and by their powers combined, Plot Armor Goku returns to the land of the living. Whew! Oh, and Krillin dies. Again. Yeah, he's out shopping with Android 18 and I believe Marin, and he basically gets iced by 17. Android 18, now pissed off that her husband's dead, decides to go full balls to the walls against her brother, and she does so in the most badass way possible, bombarding him with energy attacks. Apparently, she still has her infinite energy generator built inside her body, so yeah, why not? Goku goes, you gotta stop, this isn't gonna work. She goes, I have nothing left to lose. And Goku, realizing that if he's absorbing energy attacks, Super 17, that Goku should be able to King Piccolo his ass. What do I mean by that? He basically goes, sticks a fist up, and blows right through his abdomen. And this is coming from the same character that once sent the rabbit to the moon! Woo! I'm gonna lose my mind before this review is done. Basically, then, after Super 17's defeated, Goku and the rest of the gang gather up the Dragon Balls because we gotta undo the damage, bring everybody back. Yep. One problem, though. The Dragon Balls are cracking. This is a major issue. Now, here's an interesting little tidbit that I actually kind of like from GT. And I'm gonna ruin this beforehand, but this is one of the few things that GT had lore-wise that I actually kind of liked. Turns out that if you overuse the Dragon Balls, they build up negative energy. That negative energy usually dissipates over time since you're not supposed to find the Dragon Balls extremely quickly. But because Bulma Briefs was a little horny in her teenage years and wanted a boyfriend, she searched the Dragon Balls out with her Dragon Radar. And because of that nightmare, the minus energy kept building and building and building. This creates a massive problem because it just keeps building and building and building. And it gets so much worse. Because of this, the Dark Dragons or Shadow Dragons appear, as well as a blue or purple, I'm colorblind, I don't care, cigar-smoking Shenron. That's a badass Shenron! Shows up, denounces the group, basically just flips them off, and splits himself into his 7 Shadow Dragon forms. 1 for each of the 7 balls. So Goku, Pan, and G.B.U decide we're gonna go out on an adventure and gather up all the Dragon Balls. You're all idiots. Every single one of you. Upon defeating each Shadow Dragon, they recover the Dragon Ball. Still cracked and beaten, however, it's somewhat better than it was, having the minus energy gone. However, the final dragon proves to be a real tough one. It's Shin Shenron, or Sin Shenron, the first dragon. However, once he absorbs the other 6 Dragon Balls, he becomes Omega Shenron. I love that name. Omega Shenron basically proves that there is no need to wonder where their god is, because he's right there. He is fresh out of goddamn mercy. He basically beats the crap out of them with little effort until Goku and Vegeta decide they're going to do the Metamarie Fusion Dance. And anyone that has ever seen Dragon Ball knows what that is. Fusion Ha! That. They decide to do that and become Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, mopping the floor with Shenron. However, because 2 full-blooded Saiyans are now fused together, that's double the cockiness, double the ineptitude, and 4 times the kiss my ass! God, this series sucks! Because Goku was fighting both East Shenron and Nova Shenron prior to this, he actually has little energy left to sustain a Super Saiyan 4 form. Because of that, he ends up undoing the fusion because it runs out of time. Not the 30 minutes, but more like 10 minutes that Goku had left energy-wise to sustain his form. Goku ends up powering back into his childlike form even after he ate the 4-star Dragon Ball. There's no words to explain how idiotic that was, trust me. It sounded more stupider me saying it than it actually was. Just remember that. But basically, because Goku decided he's going to eat the Dragon Ball, Shenron doesn't get it. However, Nova Shenron reappears, tries taking on Shenron, ends up becoming one with him, and Omega Shenron begins kicking ass and taking names. Blah, blah, blah. Everybody's getting their ass beat. Blah, blah, blah. I don't care. Oh, and Goku basically gets hit with a minus energy ball and supposedly dies. Here's where fan theories come in very handy. It's believed that Goku died, but made a pact with the actual Green Shenron that we all know and love, that if he brings Goku back, temporarily at best, that Goku will defeat Omega Shenron, and then will gladly travel into another world with Shenron, so that none of this will ever happen again. However, there's no confirmation. I have no fucking clue what the hell happened, and at this point, I don't care. Seriously, I could give 2 shits about it. The series concludes with what I'd like to call one of the most stupidest plot holes in history. We're shown years into the future. Pan is now an old woman, and her grandson, Goku Jr., is fighting Vegeta Jr. And they're going Super Saiyan in the arena. I'm guessing at this point, Saiyan blood is intermixed with the entire population, and nobody gives a shit! Pan sees what she believes is her grandfather Goku, now back to his adult form, down in the audience somewhere, and rushes down to try to see him, only to find out he's not there. Goku eventually walks outward, going past multitudes of people, and eventually flies up into the air, fading out of existence. And thus was the end of Dragon Ball GT. Or I'd like to say that. However, we ended up getting screwed again with the introduction of the Lost episodes, telling us the story that led up to a grand problem from the start to that point, which should have just been at the start of the series. And on top of that, we also got a movie called The Legacy Reborn, which is basically Goku Jr.'s journey to become a Super Saiyan. Because somehow the most powerful transformation in the Saiyan race can be done in about an hour and a half. Or 2 days. The plot of the movie is Pan gets sick, and Goku Jr. wants to travel to get the Dragon Balls, thinking that they'll heal her. However, he manages to get back to Mount Pao after an entire trek through hell and back. He ends up befriending one of his, I'm guessing, classmates, and eventually, God knows how, becomes a Super Saiyan after he defends a bear cub or walrus thing. You know, I don't care. I think it was a bear or fox or something from almost getting killed by poachers. He becomes a Super Saiyan, kicks ass, takes names, finds the Dragon Ball, or finds the shrine, and finds the Dragon Ball and the spirit of his great, you know, fuck it, Goku, okay? There, his namesake appears in spirit form, telling him that he's doing really good, but he should really focus on other things and blah, blah, blah. Gives him some otherworldly, grandfatherly advice. I hate this series. Let's dive into the good, the bad, and the ugly, shall we? And there's only two things that are good in this. I would say one, but there's two. Notice how I blocked that one out. That's what I feel like every time I hear the words Dragon Ball GT. I want to do that. But basically, this is what it is. Here's the concept. The only two good parts of this entire shit show are two fights, and none of them are the main event fights. Goku vs. Legic in the Lost episodes are actually a good battle. It's one of the few times I'm actually impressed that a character knows what the Saiyan race is looking forward to fighting the Saiyan race, and actually can hold his own against the Saiyan race. The second one is Goku vs. General Rildo, because not only do we finally get to see Goku fight, but we get to see a child version of Super Saiyan Goku. And this fight happened first. I won't lie, I paused that moment on VHS so many times I thought I wore the tape out. That's the only two good things there are. Oh no, that's just the fights. The only other good thing goes to my friends in the North, Canada. You got the better opening to Dragon Ball GT, which I watched. The opening that you had was better than ours. And that leads into my bad. We got a crappy opening. Whereas Canada got Your Spell, which was the song I'm assuming that was played, and it was honestly quite good, we got Welcome to the Grand Tour. Welcome to the Kiss My Ass! I hated it. It sucked. The series blew. There's so much more. The plot direction in this thing is all over the goddamn place. Do we want to have them go after the Dragon Balls? And we're going to have them basically have all that work undone because of the evil villain. Then we're going to have a bit of a training thing. Time taking a back goddamn seat. And Piccolo dying in order to prevent those Dragon Balls from ever being used again. Which brings up a better question. Why were they even there in the first place? Why didn't you just destroy them? If the actual Dragon Balls were rendered inert by Kami when he fused with Piccolo, and then they had to revitalize them with his own life energy, then why the beep would these exist? If Piccolo created them when Piccolo and Kami fused, they would technically have ceased to exist as well, because Piccolo and Kami fused. If the people creating this series would have at least done their research on the series that they were basically taking characters from, they would have known this. Piccolo and Kami fused back together to form one unknown Namekian, a new Namekian warrior, as it were. Piccolo's body, but a whole new person. And technically, King Piccolo did die back in Dragon Ball. So those Dragon Balls would still have been rendered inert. So the whole freaking plot for this goddamn piece of crap could have been taken out back in Shot Old Yeller style, and I wouldn't have cared. And I'm just still in the bad. It gets so much worse. Let's talk about the ugly, shall we? Because I have one word for you. Times 10 delayed reaction Kamehameha wave. What in the fuck were they smoking? Goku used this attack to take on Baby half a dozen times. A times 10, a times 20, a times 100. Who the hell cares? It's plot bullshit! It was an annoying and stupid ass idea. But then, the more annoying things about this is that we don't get a proper introduction to the series until after the series is done. The lost episodes should have been aired first. Then we should have got the actual where we started at, where it belonged in the freaking series. Then again, this whole series deserves to be taken, picked up, patted on the head, and slammed into a dumpster. I can't stand Dragon Ball GT, and God help us if any of it ever becomes canon. Then again, with Akira Toriyama retconning the Dragon Ball lore now thanks to Dragon Ball Super Broly, who the fuck knows what's gonna happen anymore? My final verdict for Dragon Ball GT. Burn it! Send it back to the fires of hell from whence it came. Find yourself a hobbit, get him an eagle, fly him to Mount Doom in Mordor, have him chuck it into the fires of Mount Doom and wipe it from existence. Because that is the only thing we can do. I hate this series. I hate this thing with a passion. And I like Dragon Ball. And GT sucked. Crappy plot. Crappy character interactions. Horrible arcs. Series wasn't even done in proper order. And a goddamn god-awful movie. And you constantly have the nuts to put this thing back out on DVD in an entire collection, featuring the lost episodes, the actual series, and the movie in that fucking order. The Shadow Dragons were a horrific, showboating, backstabbing way to bring about Dragon Ball into this. The one dragon was literally created only because Oolong wished for a pair of women's underwear. The other dragons all had similar horrible stories of how they came back to life. One was because you brought this person back. One was because you did this. One was because of this. Who cares why you were created? Then again, who cares, period? They should have just contacted the Namekians when they saw the cracks in the Dragon Balls. Telepathically transported to the Namekian homeworld, which Goku would have been able to do with Super Saiyan 4. Or hell, even get the Supreme Kai to help him. Boom! You're on New Namek. Can we borrow your Dragon Balls for a minute? We need to wish back all of our friends and everything bad that happened on the Earth to have undone. And unfortunately, our Dragon Balls are kind of cracking up. Sure, not a problem. Here you go. Thanks. We're just going to throw ours into the waste dump because we don't know what's wrong with them. We can't use them anymore. Okay, thanks so much. We'll never bother you again. Have a nice day. Send us back to Earth, please, Kai. Wing! Done! This series is crap. Don't watch it. Not worth your time. I'm Andrew Rhodes. This has been the Anime G.B.U. And I'm gone crazy. Till next time. Bye, everybody.